Welcome to A Woman's Brew, where women talk about beer. In today's episode, we're wishing a very happy second birthday to our dear friends and most recurring guests on the pod, Merakai Brewing Co. I'm Joanne, and this is Tori.
Hello, happy birthday!
And we're two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us.
Gonna end up starting, it'll be like only an hour, guys. When you said about a liter, I was like, oh no,
Oh god, not again.
Can't do it, not again.
Happy birthday to us.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to us. Because we're two.
I'm so glad that you hit recording before that song started.
Yes.
That is, yes. So excited. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Feels amazing to be two. I'm just gonna dive right in and
straight into it.
We're going into Am I the drama?
Am I the drama? For those that are listening and may not recognise the voice, we have the lovely Emma from Merakai Brewing Co.
Oh yeah, I guess we have to intro, but
in case anybody's really rude and hasn't listened to our episodes with you before.
So rude.
Could you? They must know me by my dulcet tones by now.
They must do.
I've noticed that kind of talking things, and I really hate them because I hate the sound of my own voice, and I don't really.
Welcome to my life.
Really loves it.
No,
it's just like I hear myself, and I just hear myself talking, and I sound so boring. I'm like, why?
I love boring.
You absolutely do not sound boring. I don't like how I sound. I don't like how I look. So that's why I never watch anything back. And there's been the odd occasion when I've had to, and it is I put it on mute. I'll be like, I need to watch it back for something.
I could literally make her say anything. Honestly, she puts a lot of trust in me.
She could take the worst bits. I put full trust in her, and I'm like, I'm sure that's good.
I'll just put over her mouth like,
she could deep fake. You know what though? I'm not.
Because I'm that good at video editing.
No, but I listened to a podcast and they talked about deep faking, and I've heard how expensive it is to do deep fakes, and I would really hope that Joe wouldn't use that much time and effort and value to make a deep fake just to say something.
Just putting it out there.
Outrageous. Yeah. Oh, it smells beautiful.
It does smell absolutely beautiful. So we're drinking Am I the Drama?
No, Am I the Drama?
Am I?
Before we hit record, we were talking about this amazing can art on here.
I love it and find it creepy. It's everything that I could ever want.
Okay, so how do we describe this for the listeners?
I would say it's like a chubby little cat.
Yeah.
But like a bald cat with a candle on its head sitting in a teacup with big owl eyes.
So we should have probably kind of asked the artist to change it to a beer glass, I guess. Oh. So this piece of work that she did, Olga, all details of artists on our social media, so check that out.
We'll tag it as well.
We like to support them and promote them, and they're on our cans as well. But yeah, we were honestly, my brain went blank in terms of what I wanted for this beer, and I came across Olga's work, and she's an incredible 3D artist. She is like 20-something, so amazingly talented. I just can't even tell you. And she had this GIF, and there's this GIF, it's a Cate Latte. Cate Latte! Yes, I know, even more. So it's a GIF, and it's little chunks, like she's animated it, because this is actually 3D. It's not meant to be 2D, it's actually a 3D model.
Okay.
She created, because that's her day job. And it's little chunkers, because it's kind of like, its foam is melting, and it's got its ass at the back. You can see, like, if you have a look at her feed on social media, it's got a little chonker's face blinking, and it's sort of like its face is kind of going down a bit because it's foamy, and then at the back it's got a little bum. But yeah, we just thought it was really cute.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah,
so much.
But it's like we said, can you put like a candle in the kind of like head? So yeah, this is our little birthday one.
It looks like it's got like a little whipped creamy bit on the top as well. It's so cute.
I was like, we should have put it in a pint glass, but yeah, this is the cat. This is the Am I the Drama, which obviously encapsulates the whole meme in the first place. Something that's kind of like very cute and innocent looking.
The more you stare at it as well with the name, it just gets better with that cheeky little smile. I just find like the more you stare into its eyes, it's like quite hypnotizing, and it's just got like a little cheeky little, am I the drama? little smile on it. It's like the style of artwork is like when I see tattoos that I really like in that, like that's like the type of style of tattoo that I really want.
Can you get that?
A little chunky cat.
I will pay. I will pay for you to have that.
A little cat latte.
Yeah.
Chunky little cat. I love it.
Yeah. Get that tattooed. That's version Merakai, like that level. It's insane.
I'll be like, Emma, I got a tattoo for you. A cat latte. With its chunky little cheeks. I love it.
Oh, chunks. So yeah, that's it. She's really good. I tried to do something like a little bit interesting with it, where I was like looking to build a 3D model so you could like have it virtually wherever you go, but it didn't work out, and that was a shame. I might do that with another one of our beers, but yeah, like little chonker's face, massive like cat eyes. Yeah, it's polarizing at the moment. I think like one of our customers, Alpha Bottle Shop in Bristol, who are just awesome. They've got a poll run at the moment saying creepy or cute. And it's 100% cute. So
so do you have people telling you like, no, creepy, 100% creepy?
Well, no one did. I mean, I didn't think so. I spoke to my sister, and my sister was like, I don't know whether it's cute or not. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's definitely cute. But yeah, no, I just love it and think it's so cute.
I think it's incredibly cute, but it has that air of creepiness, but that's what also makes it cute. Like I think that's also what makes it really cute.
Yeah, it's very odd, but yeah, like, you know, the beer is like a Nipa version of I licked it, so it's mine. So it's got the same. Yeah. So Oliver used Mosaic, Citra, and Simcoe in it. But yeah.
Nice.
Because we really want to do another dipper, but I've got to sell 100% of the dipper stock like overseas, because people, it's difficult to sell dippers.
Do you think to some level like people have almost been dippered out, because like people are just, they tried to go harder and harder with dippers just across the board. People like, we're doing dippers, now we're doing tippers, now we're doing quippers, and it was just like, how high can we go with it? Do you think that could be potentially why people have just gone like, oh, I just need to keep going higher and higher with it?
No, I think it's got to do with turnover in stock for places, and you know, some bars. The majority of craft still want to drink pale ales and IPAs in litres and litres and litres, and you know, shops know they can turn it around, and at the moment things being how they are with just bottle shops, and I mean the amount of customers that I have lost, it's like a lot. I don't even think that me and Oliver during our launch, and of course we launched a pandemic, that was our choice, but we didn't think that it wouldn't be some element of like getting better. It's kind of not really. It's just you know, bad news, and quite a lot of people have just been going, it's like not as buoyant as it has been. So yeah, that's kind of like a shame. I mean, we are selling our beers, and obviously like these are quite scarce, so I'm doing a quite good job of selling them, which is awesome, but it's like, it's really challenging. So just waffle answer your question. Still a market for dippers, but I think it's only a few people can get away with releasing them. You know, like Cloudwater will release a dipper, and that'll sell out really quickly. I think Beak also, one of the newish comers ish, can release a dipper, and that can sell. I just think, it's a bit difficult. Look, like Debbie Downer.
No.
Birthday chats. Why can't you do a dipper? Because the market isn't what it was.
It's the truth. It's the
honestly,
truth.
But I absolutely fucking loved I Licked It, So It's Mine. Like, I love that. And I remember, I think you sent me the can that you were like, drink at your own. You're like, I have this can, drink at your own risk, because it is fast, it's BBE and all that. And I was like, okay. And you're like, and it might not be its best, so like, that's on you, but I think it's all right. And I drank it and I was like, I still love it just as much as I did the first time I had it. Like,
yeah, I think we are going to redo it again. I mean, we gave when we did the next beer, I suppose we're going to kind of like drink and talk about at some point, is the low-key collab. And when Drew came down, Oliver cracks them out and he gave it to him, and Drew was like, nice. So it's like, I think he said like a barley wine. It's evolved into a barley wine. It's so weird. We've still got 2 boxes left. And my dad has 2 cans of it, and it's basically in the in his kind of like drinks cupboard. I'm like, why are you keeping it, Dad? And he's like, oh yeah, because it's the first ever beer that he did. I'm like, yeah, but we've got 2 boxes of it. This one as well. So this is when I first sent the beers out. This is like 2 years old. When I first sent the beers out, I sent them out like this in a mad rush at Christmas to try and get them sold. Oh, it seems to be okay. And yeah, it's just in here. Beer's still in here that I sent.
It's just in a cardboard tube.
Yeah, cardboard tube.
Yeah.
By the end of the 18th to the 12th, and it was basically sent back to us on the 22nd of the 2nd, 21. But I posted it in December 2020.
Oh
wow.
Oh my goodness. I definitely like when you're saying that is effectively like basically that brew kind of like you can yeah, it has all the things that I loved about I licked it so it's mine. Like, it's just I just love it. This makes me happy. These beers make me happy. I was just talking the other day about New England IPAs. Oh, I like that.
Glassware.
I like that. I still love my glass. Like, I cannot. This is still the original glass. Still love it. But yeah, that's it. That's a good one.
You know, yeah, we just got more glasses. So this is like a gorgeous cylindrical, sort of like tulip shape, tapering up to the top, big weighty pint glass. So this is a pint glass.
Oh, is it a pint? Wow.
I like that.
Yeah, for our tap room, this is what you'd be getting with the pledging. And if you chose to have a glass, it's a pint. It's like full on.
That's amazing. I like that. It looks nice as well. It looks visually pleasing.
It's very, very weighty and heavy. Very heavy.
You always get the most visually pleasing glasses.
Thank you. Yeah, no one's got one like this, and we've nucleated them as well, which I think is really important. I love a bit of nucleation. Yeah. However, I got it and they nucleated it, but they didn't kind of like clean it. So I had like bits of kind of like scraped glass. So I have to clean 360 glasses by hand, but it's okay because I've got a scrubber that you just put it on. And you kind of like really have to just scrub it out, but it's fine. I stuck my hand in every single one after I've cleaned it. They go in the dishwasher, obviously, but after I've scrubbed it, just to make sure, put my fingers over it to make sure it's absolutely fine. Because I actually had a glass that I was drinking myself, didn't clean it properly, put water in it, chucked it out, and then I stuck my hand in to see if I cleaned it, and then I cut my finger. I was
no.
It was a tiny paper cut, do you know what I mean? But it was like, so yeah, I've got to clean.
Oh no! One can say you didn't put love into every single one of those.
Every single one of them. Every single one has been like hand cleaned, dried. Make sure it's got nothing in it, and then shoved in the dishwasher.
Wow.
Oh man! So we were talking before we started hitting record about the name "Am I the Drama?"
Yes.
And you said there's a bit of like a controversy over like who's actually named it. What is the story behind it?
I just think, like, from my perspective, because I'm talking here, we've got no Oliver, but ultimately,
he can't defend himself.
If people are really loving a name of a beer that we've done, he will basically say, like, he will take ownership of it. But at the moment, no one said anything because we just launched it. So even though it was him that named it, he's pretty much like, you named it. I'm like, why would I name it? Am I the Drama? Like, out of the 2 of us, he's the one most likely to say, am I the Drama? And he named it, and he can't hear me because he's next door with all the doors are closed. So I'm just going to say, like, he named it because I can't remember. But I'll take credit if I named it, but he named it. But if people like it, I'll just say I named it.
You're like, yeah, no, it was me. Yeah, definitely. It's totally I definitely did it. And then when he turns around and goes, no, I did it, you'll be like, no, we actually already agreed that it was me.
I've got it recorded.
that it was you.
Edit all the bits out where I'm wavering and go,
no. What I heard you say was, he said I named it, so obviously I'm the one that named it. Right. That's what I heard.
Perfect.
That's what it boils down to.
That's the right answer. You know, my girls. But yeah, no, I like the drama because it's cheeky, it's a little bit of something, a little bit of fun, a little bit light. As I said, we wanted to do a dipper, but Oliver really loves New England. And we did a New Zealand IPA recently. That was just absolutely phenomenal. Love that beer. And it was like really, really thick. And I just wanted Oliver to kind of like make a beer that was just, it had that like opacity about it. And when I say like opacity, it's that viscosity and slightly kind of like, well, Joanne, you can help me here with the terminology. So it's essentially like not see-through. Because sometimes with the yeast that is used, even though it says it's kind of like, oh shit, let me get this terminology right. High attenuating?
High attenuating.
Was it low attenuating where it's
so
right?
When it's high attenuating, that's the yeast eating all the sugars.
Yep.
And when it's low attenuating, it's left some fermentable sugars in the beer.
It's whichever one that makes it cloudy.
Well, that comes from the proteins.
Because some yeast they kind of like go and then make it drop everything to the bottom.
I thought you were gonna say like make it rain. They make it rain.
Make it rain. So the proteins and they grab onto it. Yeah. This is what I want to do. So
flocculating is the word you're looking for.
That's it. High flocculating, low flocculating.
Yeah, it's a low flocculating yeast. When it's highly flocculating,
I like the make it rain. Make it rain protein.
Make it rain. So this is why everyone needs to do Joanne Love Beer Learning beer course, so you can actually sound like an expert. I picked up so much about beer from Oliver just through him kind of talking to me, sitting there and talking to me about it, and some stuff's kind of like gone in, but I like really, should learn more since this is my business about it. But
he's just like,
drinking it.
I feel like he is just such a like the new. I know you're like, oh yeah, he likes New England IPAs, and it's like, yeah, it shows because he is an absolute fucking master at doing.
He's a beer wizard.
I mean, like when it comes to anything, really, he's amazing at. Like especially like the New England IPAs, like you have that, and you're just like, what have you done? Or that like, the oat cream IPA. I was like, what? How have you done this? It is beautiful.
That's still really doing well.
Yeah, I want to put it on record, right? And I said this to you.
Fucking beer wizard.
So you've got your low-key collab there, and it made me really laugh when I mean, Drew said it, but obviously we're not going to equate Drew with the guy from Loki because they're obviously.
It's not Drew. It's Drew.
It's
a different person.
Drew Draris. When he first opened the tap room, he put out a little poll and was like, "Who should we have do a tap takeover?" And I was like, "Obs, Merakai," and then never happened. And then he met you guys. Where did he meet you?
It was at GenCraft, wasn't it? Because I remember he was meant. Oh, was it not?
No, he met you at another brew.
Yeah. So Drew is GenCraft. That is Drew.
Yeah.
We got that together. We met because we were at Neon Raptor. Neon Raptor invited us to take part in DerbyCon.
Derby, yeah.
And we were up there, and I was basically manning it was a killer because we were doing 12 hours on our own because we had the dogs. So we'd do it, and I was on one of the shifts, and I basically had a break, and I was just wandering over at people and seeing what they were about, and then I kind of spotted. Well, Drew came over and he tried the most polarizing beer we've ever done, which is the Always Room for Pie, and he just thought Oliver was the genius by using Hefeweizen yeast that we don't really talk about. That was the yeast we used in that beer to bring out the banana flavors, and he thought it was just genius, and I thought that was so sweet of him to say because Oliver wasn't there and he said it to me, and then I pooled over to his beer stand and tried his beer because he had Loki and Boutilliers, and I tried his beer, and I've discovered something about myself, or two things. Number one, I didn't realize when I eat and I enjoy something, I kind of go, and I don't realize I'm doing it. And it's really weird. The second thing I've discovered about myself recently is when I try a beer that I really, really enjoy, I laugh hysterically to myself because I enjoy it so much when I taste it. And I did this when I had Drew's beer. I basically stood in front of him, drank one of his beers and laughed into it. And he just thought I was like, just thought I was fucking mental. So yeah, we got chatting, and I thought it was really nice. And I just basically said, you just need to speak to Oliver because you know, you two get on famously. You're basically like the same person. Yeah, I met Oliver. They got on really well, and yeah, someone had dropped out. So yeah, we didn't get a fresh invite, but I don't like.
Oh no, but I
opportunity. He was like, "Someone's dropped out. Do you want to come?" And we were like, "Yes,
yes."
I remember
but then
that they were supposed to have it and they didn't. That was not this year, the year before or something. And they and he had posted saying like, who do you want to see? Like, what are some like newer breweries that you want to see? And I specifically was like, Merakai. Oh, there he is.
We're just gonna edit this bit out for everyone who's listening to it. Oliver has just appeared in frame without anyone asking him to. He's just turned up. So did you name this beer? We were just discussing this as well.
No, okay, so it's on record. He didn't do it.
It's on record.
It's on record now. He didn't do it.
Didn't do it.
But also, what do you think of me getting a tattoo of this chonky cat?
Definitely, that'd be amazing.
He co-signs that. That's good.
Yeah. And you've also been called a fucking brewing wizard.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much it.
What did I say? I said like yeast attenuating instead of like flocculating, and then
we said make it rain. We made it rain proteins.
The yeast from the proteins.
Which one was that then?
This, because I said I want you to make like a beer that was like
a hazy beer.
Yeah.
Technically, that yeast isn't overly friendly. It flocculates a bit heavier than other yeast, but I just dry hopped it heavily during fermentation and towards the end of fermentation, so that should help.
There you go.
This is again why
that's what I said.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly
what you said. That's what you wanted, wasn't it, Emma?
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
I'm going to go check on the gals.
Yeah, that's the exact explanation I used. Thank you for dropping in.
Bye.
Bye. You're like, that's word for word exactly what I said.
Yeah. So can we remix it where I just basically go, that's fine.
We'll put all of our money into doing deep fakes of you just going, I said all those things.
All of those things. But so both of us had recommended you, and then it comes out, it's like, this new brewery that I discovered at Derby Beer Con, they've been invited, and I was just like, just you wait till I see him, because I'm gonna have words, because I said that he needed to have you guys on the taps ages ago, and so I did. So I went up to him at GenCraft, and I was like, "Oh, a bone to pick with you." I was like, "Because I told you that you should have Merakai, and you didn't listen." He's like, "Oh yeah, you did." I hadn't tried their beer then. I was like, "You should have gone and tried it when I told you."
I see. I didn't actually talk to it. I just submitted it. It was like, "Who do you want to see?" And I was like, "Obviously Merakai."
Yeah.
And then it got
always got your back.
It's got a like, but then obviously it didn't happen. So I think that it probably got parked until that. I was gutted that I couldn't go this year, because unfortunately my parents were arriving at like 6 a.m. the next. I say unfortunately, like fortunately my parents were arriving.
Do they not listen to this podcast?
My mum does sometimes.
Yeah, her mum does.
So she might hear this. I don't know. But it's that thing of like, they were arriving the next morning. My mum did say like, we'll just get a cab. Like, it's fine. Like, you know, I want you to be able to go and do what you need to do. And I was going to go. But because they were arriving so early in the next morning, I was just like, and then Rick started doing like, you can do what you want. And then he's like, but just think about where your priorities lie. And I was like, all right,
this is what our husbands
I've got
do
this.
Fine. They like guilt us into like real life shit.
You would have been, to be fair, you would have been hanging, because
I don't really hang though. But I would have probably there. I maybe wouldn't have been hanging, because I don't hang much, but
yeah, she doesn't get hangovers.
I might have still been drunk the next day, and that would have been a problem.
And they went home, and I carried on at the after party.
Yeah, I don't think I could have done that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, because you guys had to go home because of the dogs.
So tired.
You were so tired, yeah.
That is a beaut.
Oh, Cult of Oak.
That's Christmas, that is.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
Christmas sorted.
I think, when I go to craft beer festivals, and I will never stop doing this.
Did you have a nap in the toilet?
Yes, yes. So I was asleep on the toilet, but with the toilet seat down, obviously. But no, I always go for like the high ABV beers.
Yeah,
I started off Derby Beer Con, sidebar, straight to Cult of Oak, and I laughed again.
Did you laugh at Roberto?
In his face. I laughed in Roberto's face.
Amazing.
That was.
He nearly broke my hand when he shook it. He's got a very doesn't discriminate. Didn't give me a.
Oh no, I respect that. I respect that more than like the dead fish.
Yeah,
I'm like, a nice firm handshake.
he went in and he was like, it was power handshake, and I was like, that I wasn't expecting that, and ow.
Yeah.
But
he's also like a big old bear hugger as well.
Oh, lovely. Well, I look forward to that. Yeah,
I do similar to you though when I go to beer festivals. Depending on the festival, but I definitely know for a fact at least once this year, if not twice, I've gone to a beer festival, and I mean, somehow I always end up with a second glass as well. Like I do.
You're always double parked.
I'm always double parked. Like I'm always like, well, why try one thing when you can try two things? And then I've always got two, and it's normally like I'll be like, well, I want this big bold stout, this like imperial stout, but then I also want this sour. And I'm like, so I'll just get both. And it's that's all I'll say. But I do the same thing. As like I'll start on a bit because I want to prioritize the things that I want to try the most, and those tend to be they usually are the higher ABV, only because I find that it's like recently there's been a lot of like bold stouts with all these different like flavor, like pastry stouts, all these different flavor combinations and stuff, as we'll get on to like what you've
we'll get on to
and that's the stuff that I gravitate and I want to try, so that's what I kind of go to, or the sours that are just like funky and interesting, and they tend to be higher ABVs, and that's what I go to first, and then by the end of it I'm like, oh, I don't have like we said, I don't have anything else to give. I've given you everything. Normally I don't really get hangovers, but I have been known to be still drunk the next day where I wake up and I'm like, I might still be drunk.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is dangerous, but it's fun. I mean,
it's just gonna say, but it's fun though, isn't it? It's not like you do it all the time. You do it like once every so often.
Yeah. Oliver's like the opposite of me though. He will go for the kind of like the dippers and the tippers, and the kind of like, he really likes that. Whereas I'm just kind of like big old sexy ones.
Big old sexy stouts.
Which one did you want to kind of like go for?
Well, you choose. They're your beers.
You choose. It's your birthday.
Oh, I really don't know.
I've literally managed to almost polish off this entire can, by the way. FYI.
Okay, let's go with low key first.
Okay.
Like trying to pick which of your dogs you like more. You're like, oh, I don't know. I like them both.
It's really difficult because I love all my baby beers, and especially with me, the imperial stouts for me, and stouts in general, and to some extent like the what do you call it, the fruited beers. They're my tasty babies, and I love them, and I just think just kind of this particular one is the mutual relationship with Tonka that I have, like, and I love it, and it's just one of them things where like if you really love it, you become like a Tonka addict, and I think that's one of the things.
I think you could probably ask Drew about that.
He's the king of Tonka addiction.
I felt connected to Drew because I was pretty much like, I just really, really love it. And The Good Left Undone is named by Drew because we try to kind of like think of like some of the names and they just weren't working. So yeah, he came up with that, and the artist is Chrissy Merakai, and she is awesome. Again, socials on our website and on the can itself. And it's basically just, I mean, it kind of like is a bit of a departure in terms of the label and how it looks and the art. it's quite kind of like somber and deep and meaningful. We like to think it has like layers of complexity on the outside, as well as layers of complexity on the inside in the beer itself.
I really like the label, actually. This is very much my style. Like, I think you've got like this one is definitely like my lighter. For anyone that's listening, the Am I the Drama is definitely
like
my kawaii side.
Is that one? Is that your
like,
Enid side, and this is your Wednesday side?
I think so, yeah. As a elder emo, this is definitely it's a lifestyle choice. I feel like this is definitely like the type of thing that I would have. I mean, both of them really in their own ways would be something that I would have like artwork of, like hanging up. Like that is they're both very me in different ways, and like visually, yeah, I just gravitate to both of the labels. And I feel like you always do like really amazing artwork on it, like the one that you were talking about earlier, the collab that you did with aThirst, that Mad Hatter Alice in Wonderland cover for it was just absolutely phenomenal, and like that style of artwork was just incredible, and the way you managed to get like all four of you on the can in your own ways, it was just, I loved it. I've got a can of it, and I cannot wait to actually try it because it just sounds amazing.
I mean, no, I will say on that one, it's I think out of all the beers that we've ever produced, it's the most polarizing.
Really?
Like people either really love it or they absolutely hate it. Look at Untapped. It's either like, and I said to Oliver, because Oliver is like a little bit disappointed sometimes, and I just say, well, no, look, you are trying new things with beer, and the reason why you do, kind of like you did what you did with this beer is because you wanted to kind of try a little bit of something different, and like just whack out an IPA or whatever, but just try to do something a little bit different in doing like a Hefeweizen. But yeah, you get people who really don't like that style of beer, and they'll go, oh yeah, pastry. Like some people have bought it thinking it's a stout because of tartarets, and then they'll just drink it and be like, what the fuck? A disclaimer, anyone who hasn't tried it yet, it is not, unfortunately for you, it is not a stout. It does say pastry ale on it, and that's basically what it is, but it's using that yeast that gives it the banana esters with a slight kind of like clove in it, and it's just got a shit ton of banana puree basically and cocoa nibs.
But even that though, it's like so I know everyone goes like, oh, Tartarus stouts, but like Tartarus have also made some other like really amazing things that aren't stouts. Like they did a Belgian IPA, I think it was, and it was so good.
Lager.
Oh my god, yeah. But then I'm like,
how far away from a stout can you get?
I'm biased because I like the rice lager, because it was really good. It was a jasmine rice lager, and I really liked it just for that. But then also I was like, the artwork is amazing, and it's so good, and it's Japanese, and I love it. But I mean, like they're Belgian. Like I bought that. Not really. I don't even think I looked at the style. I just bought it because I was like, this will match my D&D character. I'm going to get this to have it with my D&D character. It will be really good. And then I saw what it was and I was like, oh, I like Belgians, be good. And I tried it and it was really good. So it's like anyone that's buying it going, oh yeah, it's going to be a stout. But like, yeah, I think I like when people go outside their comfort zone and try something new. And I think like, if you were to make something that everybody liked all of the time, it would be boring. Like sometimes you kind of have to be polarizing because that's how you get really interesting beers.
Yeah, that's how we get innovation.
You don't make any kind of steps forward or grow if you don't try something, and I think that's really important. And commercially it did really well, but yeah, some of the feedback has been like polarizing, and I think that kind of like, that's okay. It's part and parcel of being a brewer and having a brewery and having like people's taste buds are their own. It's their own experience, and you can sort of guide them based on the ingredients you used on it and the kind of like production method and everything else. But ultimately, like what you taste is what you taste, and no one can really tell you, no, it doesn't taste like that. It's just kind of like an individual palate thing. And at the end of the day, some things chime with some people and other things don't, and that's okay. We're not going to sit here and go, you didn't like our beer.
No, it's a hard one, isn't it? Because it's like, it's the, how do you guys go about that? Do you kind of separate it and go, this is just, it's hard because, as you said, like, that it's your, in some way it's your baby, in the sense of like, you've created it and you've been like, this is something that we came up with as an idea, we think it'd be really good, and you put it out there, and then somebody doesn't like it, and it's most likely that it's just not to their taste. Now, some people don't voice it in the nicest way, because sometimes people act like their taste buds are like the law of the land, and that's not the case. But sometimes it's just not to somebody's taste. And how do you like handle that? Do you just kind of go like, you know what, thank you for trying it, it's just not for you, and that's fine? Or do you kind of stop and go, because I would hope that it wouldn't stop you from wanting to like try something new, because you go, oh, that didn't go down last time. Is it just
I think people's opinions are valid, and I think that, as long as I think the intention comes from a good place and people just say, yeah, no, I don't like it, it's when, obviously if some comments are just not being nice for the sake of not being nice. But I think we can appreciate everyone who's coming from a good place and just says, it's just not for me, and that's it. And you go, yeah, that's fine.
That's so cool. Complex.
Thank you. Yeah, this is it's how can I put this? So it's got tonka in it, obviously, and it's really just delicious and chocolatey, and it's got spices in it as well. So we used mixed spice in it, and orange peel as well.
Oh, interesting.
Like, give it a really kind of flavor. Well, it is dangerous because it doesn't taste like a 10.5.
No, it does not.
No.
Number 2, this was brewed with the intention of, obviously, like, for people enjoying it now, but also thinking ahead about barrel aging it too. So yeah, Drew's taken some of this and he's gonna barrel age it, and I think, is it gonna be like potentially like Pedro Jimenez, maybe something like that, like a really delicious, potentially brandy.
Ooh,
as well. So that's going to be quite nice. Yeah, this was canned like just really recently. I'd say kind of like give it a bit of time to breathe, let it open and warm up to the elements. But yeah, it's just
definitely. When I first poured it, I was like, oh, I'm not getting a lot of aroma off of that. But when you let it sit in the glass a little bit, swirl it a bit, you then start to get that tonka. There's a little bit of smokiness. Get that like mixed spice.
I was gonna say, I got the smokiness in the taste for sure. It was like cacao, smoky, like smoky elements, and then when you said spice, like spice, and then like there was almost like dried fruit, but there was almost like the lingering element almost had a bit of nuttiness to it as well, and it's just it's just a complex range of flavors that when you put them all together, it's just layered in a very really good.
So if I tell you this was actually meant to be, because I said to Oliver and Drew, basically, like, it'd be great if you could create a mince pie imperial stout. And we particularly didn't kind of like call it like Christmas mince pie or have like mince pie on the can art, because we wanted to obviously have life post-Christmas. But I think, it's very much like, if you sit there and drink it with a mince pie, I think it'd be very complimentary.
I had so my work Christmas party had just happened recently, and they had these like really posh mince pies, and it was more like, instead of it being a traditional pie crust as such, it was more a like flaky pastry for the pie crust, and it was just how they had assembled it. It's like when you look at it, you weren't like mince pie, but it was a mince pie. And I would say, like, minus the smokiness, I think the smokiness is just a whole different element, adds a different element to it. But yeah, the dried fruit element, sorry, I'm still getting over being ill and I probably shouldn't be drinking, but I'm doing it. But the dried fruit element to it, and like a little bit of the nuttiness and the spices, like all there, do very much have that mince pie feel to it.
Yeah, I mean, I could just wake up in the morning and drink this. And I have been actually, when we've gone to the brewery, and all of it's been just going 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock.
Like, oh, please, no.
What do you think of this? I'm just like, this could be a problem. Yeah. If you're listening in the summer to this episode,
Yeah.
Christmas is only a few months away.
So what was the brew day like? Like did you have Drew down to yours? Like
yeah,
how was that?
Yeah, we had Drew and Matt as well down. So Matt, I believe, is the general manager of the tap room.
Yeah.
And lovely individuals. Oliver basically made breakfast baps. Then he made.
You guys are the best. You guys are so sweet.
Then he made a pizza.
Of course.
His pizzas are so
the
good.
Best pizza
the
dough.
Pizzas have got better. Bless him. So I do like a full brew day, and then I'll just be like making pizza.
But with the beer that we're gonna get onto in a minute, Chris messaged me about it, going, "I had the pizza. It was amazing," and I was like, "Yes!"
Yeah, it just seems to be a thing. You can't stop it now. It just has
so
to.
Good.
Just has to keep making the pizza. I mean, because it's just easy, and we're in, as I mentioned, in the crowdfunder, we're in the arse of nowhere, so it's hard to get like food. So yeah, the uni is the best investment we ever made.
But it's like, if you're so amazing at it, why not do it?
Yeah, I mean,
if you're that good, why not? Like, show off your skills.
Pretty
Like
good.
top chef,
beer wizard, pizza wizard.
What can't you this power couple do? But back to your brew day.
That's very sweet of me to say. But no, it was just really lovely. It was just really lovely, because I just think, when you kind of connect with people, obviously, and they're just on your wavelength, and it's just really comfortable and nice, and you can just sit there and shoot the shit, and also like share. The good thing about meeting other brewers and breweries is just generally shooting the shit about how business is and what stuff's about, and just talking everything through, and basically giving each other advice, and it's just always really nice. And yeah, like Drew, he's lovely. Matt's equally as lovely, but they're just love low-key, love what they're about, and especially with their not showing the World Cup, which could have made them a lot of money if they had, the World Cup on there, and they would have, had a lot more people in there, I'm sure, even though it's really busy anyway.
Yeah.
But they've just kind of have morals and actually give a shit about people, and that's like super important. So yeah, just a lot of love and nice fun times were had during the brewing of this beer. Absolutely lovely people. And just lovely beer, and the barrel aged version is going to be insane.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for that one.
But yeah, no, very very happy about this little one. But yeah.
Oh, so obviously this is for your birthday. You've been on numerous times. We talk about you a lot. Like literally anytime we can name drop you in, we do. So, how have things kind of, I know we started off a little bit more like on the doom and gloom side of things, and maybe that's how some things are anyways, but obviously things have been happening. I remember like kind of the first time we had you on, and it was sort of like the dream of like, oh, at some point, we want to open up a space, and we want to do this, we want to do that. Like, how has things shifted from the first year you started to the second year? What are all the changes, good and bad, that you've gone through?
I think that from my point of view, so obviously like having my background, I wrote a business plan and a strategy on where I wanted us to be in X years, Y years, etc. And I think pretty much like in the end of year one, beginning of year two, I kind of like pretty much achieved like my year 3 goals for us, and where we wanted to be. I think that things are kind of like starting to take off for us. I've just got to find like a footing and like a bit of stability, because I think we're experiencing like quite a lot of other breweries and other kind of like and other businesses that are similar in manufacturing with regards to like knock-on effects of particularly having customers who pay on time, and if customers don't pay on time, then it obviously like delays things with like manufacturing and your ability to be able to kind of get that cash flow moving and that production moving. So that's been challenging, especially because we've obviously started to sell more and more in EU and non-EU countries, which is like absolutely
that's really amazing.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm hoping that I can kind of like say to you in a few months' time what other stuff we're working on and where we're going to be like in the world. But it's great, but it also comes with its challenges, and the fact that we can produce a beer in August, and say, for example, terms on that and everything that comes with it is 30 days, and it takes like 5, 6, 8 weeks to do a beer. You got to pay for that beer, but you haven't even sold it yet. And then if you sell the majority of that beer to overseas, then you're kind of like maybe waiting like 5, 6 months to get that money back. And like, it's a lot and it's challenging, especially with me and Oliver and being so small. I mean, we're only like on a 10-barrel brew kit, and we've maxed out like our capacity and what we're able to do, and we're pushing as hard as we can. And I'm selling all these beers, so all of our beers are flying out. I'm selling out, which is great, but it's kind of like trying to find that balance and kind of like get that foothold going, and that's the challenge like for us at the moment. We are above and beyond where I expected us to be, like this time when I started planning like our business plan, for sure. And I think that's probably down to a mixture of our skill sets and Oliver's beer, and the fact that it's great, and the fact that it tastes great and it looks good, and me and my ability, what I can do with my business to kind of just help us and push us out there. But yeah, again, we are still like a team of 2, and we hope to grow that at some point, but we need to, in order to kind of like do what we need to do, we need to max out our strengths and capabilities before we kind of look to take anybody else on.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the day that you just go, oh, we're shipping to Japan, or we're going to do like a beer festival in Japan, and I'll be like, I will pay for my flights, I will go help you over there, I will do everything. That's what I'm like, oh, I can't wait for that day to happen.
Could be in the pipeline.
I would literally love nothing more, because then I'd be like, well, I guess I have to buy a ticket now and go, because I've got to go for that.
Amazing. Yeah, so hopefully, yeah, more kind of like things to come, more growth from us. So yeah, just really hard focus on 2023. We're just going to kind of come in strong with the tasting room as well. Thank you for mentioning that. Obviously, we've got our crowdfunder.
Yeah, you're 88%.
Live.
You're 88%.
Yeah, it's like, I think we've got maybe 13% to go on 3.
Yeah, it says like 21 days left and 88%, and it's like you're so nearly there. So I think this is definitely coming out before the 21 days is up, I'm fairly certain.
Maybe you can do one last push, hopefully get us over the line. What I didn't realise was that the place that we are like looking to get is grade 2 listed.
Oh. Fuck.
Didn't realise
Sorry,
that.
Joe. It came out before I could stop myself.
So it's gorgeous. It's grade 2 listed. So we're going through planning at the moment, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's grade 2 listed," and like, "Is it there?" And then trying to, is it there? But yeah, no, it is. It's a join to property, which is a Pizza Express, which has a blue plaque on it. So I can't remember what the significance is of it. But yeah, that's got a blue plaque, but it's just basically it's joined together, and ours is like underneath in this courtyard. It's like underneath. It's really beautiful and like very kind of tucked in and gorgeous little kind of, like, I don't know, what's the nice alley, like the Diagon Alley vibes, like,
I like that.
Harry Potter, like
Secret Garden, where you just kind of go like, what's in here?
Like,
wow.
Yeah, you just walk down to an alley that just happens to have like a Pizza Express at the end of it, but it's kind of like face right, and our little place will be there in like the armpit of Pizza Express.
So I really like that description.
I know, I don't like that description either. But should we say the nook?
Armpit of Pizza Express. Like there just happens to be a Pizza Express. We are in the armpit.
I'm using body parts to describe. I realise this is a theme with me. Like areas of our brewery. So our brewery is at the arse end of nowhere.
And your tasting room
will be in the
armpit.
Pizza Express.
Oh my god. So what is the grade 2
You know, I do marketing for a living. Like, this is my thing.
What does the grade 2 listing mean for like your plans and stuff? Is it gonna, like, have you got a change?
Are you trying to like do a reno on it that they're like, yeah, no, or are you just kind of taking it as it is?
We're taking it as it is because it's actually in quite good shape. The only thing that I wanted to look at doing was skimming the walls and the stairs up to the toilet. But we can't do that because it's kind of like puckered and has markings that I didn't realize were actually like part of the original building. It doesn't look particularly great because it's not smooth, but like that is
the charm, isn't
it? That's it. I can't do anything about it. So I'm like, excellent. And we do actually need to include another toilet within the venue because as part of our premises license, not planning to change of use, but the premises license, because we need to get two things: premises license for alcohol selling, and then change of use for changing it from a shop to a tap room or a bar, which comes under sui generis. Yeah, loving all these new things I'm learning. Who knew in planning? So it's a sui generis usage. From an E-class to a sui generis, which also takes into account, gambling centres. But if you wanted to change the tap room that we got sui generis into a gambling place, you couldn't because there's different classifications of sui generis, but they're still under the sui generis umbrella. So that was really enlightening and interesting. Just if anyone does anything, like
the more you say that word, the more that I'm like, oh, it's fun to say, isn't it?
Sui generis. Well, I thought it was sui genesis. I was saying sui genesis for ages, and someone was like, "It's sui generis," and I was like, "Oh yeah, idiot." So yeah,
we're going for that sui genesis.
Sui genesis. We've got to put another toilet in. So yeah, I'm gonna get conservation. Got to get the conservation. A historical conservation member and a member of the planning committee down to the property. I only had a conversation about this with them this week, to come in and then basically like assess the situation with the toilet because it's 2 grade listed, and I think it might have been like 18th century, 19th century, I don't know. The kind of like the interior walls might be made up of like cloth and fabric. So if we drill anything into the walls or fix anything to the walls and remove it, it could kind of like damage it. So that's where we are at the moment. But yeah, like it's all looking positive. We're not looking to do anything that is really like insane. It's just like the bar will be freestanding. The tables will, like nothing will be bolted down. The only thing is obviously like the toilet's not an issue because they've got the plumbing there, but it's just like getting the cubicle doors in the toilet. So it's just, really interesting things. But yeah, looking forward to being opposite our neighbours, Pizza Express, and having like a beautiful little hideaway nook that people can just come down and enjoy. And basically, just enjoy. We've already started the marketing for it. Everyone knows where we are now because of the crowdfunder. So
yeah, and we'll obviously link the crowdfunder as well. And if you're listening to this, like while it's still running, like definitely go. Joe and I have put our monies in, and everyone should put their monies in. And it's exciting because I just remember being on with you and being like, you and Ollie, and we were like, we're gonna just manifest this. We're manifesting this. It's gonna happen. And then like when you announced the crowdfunder, we were like, yes.
Thank you. Yeah, we did try with our tap room, but it was just too much of a big ask to get people to come because it is in the middle of nowhere, and we're on an industrial estate, and it's not like a destination like Gun Brewery is with their beautiful location. And 360 have obviously got like their place or whatever.
To be fair, when we went for the Brave Choice Brew Day, it's not even that it's like a bad location. It was more just it was confusing because there were so many trucks. I was like, I don't know if I'm in the right spot. And
Yeah.
I think I drove past it because my Google Maps was telling me to drive like past it, and I was like, this isn't right. Okay. But I mean, like, it industrial estate like fits it, but I can understand how like it might be harder to get people to go there, because especially when you're smashing out like amazing dippers and imperial stouts and stuff like that, like it would really suck to be the designated driver.
We have had and the one thing that is quite interesting is like the brew tours that we have at the moment. We're getting people who are booking them in groups and just contacting me about groups, and people are, you know, wanting to come over and bus loads and organising it themselves. So that's good. So we'll still have that like experiential side of it, but we just won't have like a tap room connected to it. But I think for any brewery like who's listening to this and they're thinking about like any baby brewery who hasn't started yet, who's thinking about it, like you need a big direct to consumer channel. And it just not, a website is just not enough. Like you will need somewhere like a bar, tap room that's easily accessible to get your beer out, essentially, in order to just do well.
The positive is
can't rely on pubs. Like gone are the days where a traditional brewery, traditional cask or keg, whatever, and you can rely on 100% pure sales from pubs. It just doesn't exist.
The positive is though, having that tasting room though, like you might drive more people that would go out of their way to go to a brewery tour once they've actually gone to your tap room, and then you market it there, and then people go, oh, that'll be really cool. And if they're local to the area, they're more likely to drive there. Whereas like at the moment, some people might go, oh, if that's where I'm going to drink and do the tour, they might go, oh, that's a bit like who's going to be the designated driver? We don't want to encourage
people too much because it's just me and Oliver.
Yeah. That's it. It'll be like, now your tours will be inundated, and you're like, whoa.
I'll just do a tour and make a pizza and then like drive down, join me in the tap room serving people.
We'll just make it sound really like, oh, it's pizza's awful. You don't want to go there. Don't do that. We have to downplay it so that people don't know how good it is. We've got to be like, oh, no, go to the tasting room.
Sorry, I started without you.
Is that the next one?
It's because we don't have our litre to go to.
No, I'm sorry. I thought I was going to end up like having to send you a litre again, and I thought I just can't do that.
I think my body would be like, please no.
Yeah.
You know what?
Because I have no self-control. I have no self-control.
No, she doesn't. Well, so we're now going to drink Affogato.
I
love Affogato as a flavour.
And this is a collaboration with Three Hills.
Yeah, so let's just talk about this one for a minute. This one, thank you, goes out to, I think, everyone's favourite here, lovely little Chris.
Oh, we love
so
Chris.
Sweet.
Who championed us to Three Hills for like such a long time, pretty much like yourselves in talking to Drew about it.
Yeah.
And then I think Chris wore them down over time. I think that's what it is. I think he just wore Andy down, and he was like, what? Yeah, fine.
He told us at Arundel, he was like,
I'm
going to make a Merakai Three Hills collaboration happen. Like,
I'm
going to make it happen.
He did, actually. He was like,
when was that? Like, May?
Yeah.
Like,
he did say he was like, I want, like, he wanted it to happen for sure. Yeah. And he is like a little hero in the beer industry as well, like where he's like doing his part where he can to be like, they're good people, let's collaborate with them. And he's like very vocal about it, and he's just like such a nice person. I remember at the bar at Arundel, we were like the dream team, it was like the three of us like working in synergy. And he is just, I've seen him numerous times since at the numerous beer festivals, and he's just always such a nice person. And then he obviously went to do I knew he was doing the collaboration because you mentioned that the Three Hills were there, and I got a Instagram from him of like, I don't know I can't remember if it was like the brewery or the pizza or something, and he was like, the pizza's good. I was like, I know, right?
So he sent me a train sign, like he was on the station, and like the next train sign going to Worthing, and he was like, boop.
Oh, it might have been that. It might have been that.
Like, guess what I'm doing today?
And then I got a follow-up of the pizza's great or something, and I was like, yes. Yeah. He is a very lovely individual, like just so friendly, so nice. He cares so much. And it's like, that is what you want, like, in the industry, is people that care so much and care so much about good people. And they want to champion good people. And he is just like everything that is right with people that are consumers and people that work in beer, because obviously he works in beer, and it's just like, he advocates so hard. Although he did put this on record, that he did say, he's like, Andy is not the nicest man in brewing. He said Matt, who now works at Undone, he said Matt is the nicest man in brewing, and I was like, oh, them's his fighting
controversial.
words.
Oh,
but
I liked. So I'd never met Andy before, and it was just really nice to speak to him and hear all about his story in Three Hills and how it started. Because frequently, I mean, I don't, because I'm not a brewer, I won't research anyone and fangirl over them. Like, I just won't do that. I'm just like, tell me who you are, tell me your story, and what you're about. And we just kind of chatted about Three Hills, and I was kind of saying, well, how, because they didn't, obviously, I didn't realize, but they didn't start off doing stouts.
No.
I thought they did. I thought it was kind of like the majority of their beers were stouts, and I thought that is what they basically
they had did. Like one porter, and then a lot of them were like more pales. I'm trying to remember the first ones I got.
Wasn't Hedron the first
one?
Yeah,
Hedron was one, and then there was the was it Legacy Porter? Or was that the?
He brought some beer along with him and gave us some of this. So like,
I just saw that for sale at my local bottle shop, and I was like, I was speaking to one of the guys.
The Three Hills Gin for those.
Yeah, Three Hills Gin for the people that are listening. And my most local shop, the Hive, like they sell gin and beer. Yeah. And one of the guys behind the bar, I was like, Three Hills. I was like, when did this happen? And they were like, I know, right? I was like, I had no idea.
It's delicious. It's like,
is it good?
Yeah, I like it because it's kind of like, it's got like botanicals in it that I enjoy.
I'll have to buy it now. Now I'm gonna have to buy it.
Got windy pops. Yeah, just like speak to Chris. Come on, Chris.
No. No.
I know you're like, I know you're incredibly fair and want to buy like everything and support everyone, and we appreciate
to the detriment that Rick will murder me. Yeah, I'll be like, but I bought the Three Hills gin, and Rick's like, what did I tell you? And I'd be like, you said no beer. You didn't say no beer. It's gin. It's gin.
I just say no gin. No, it's lovely. I have it with the Fever Tree regular tonic, and it's just it's delicious, very, very enjoyable.
Also, this beer is so smooth,
so good,
just so smooth, so silky. How the fuck is this 11%? We're going back to Echo 1 litre collaboration day, 1 litre bottle, where we're like, this is so like, how is this happening?
Yeah, no,
that's so dangerous.
It was a three kind of like mash day, right? So we did two kind of like mashes, and it was probably like one of the latest days we've ever had. If we would have done 3 in a day, we would have ended up getting home at about 11:30. It was such a long day. Really like mega tons of everything chucked into this basically. But yeah, it's completely. This is the thing that I flipping love about beer and working with different people. It's completely different from the one that we did with Loki. Like, you still get that chocolate flavor because of obviously like the malts that Oliver used. But yeah, it's kind of like the different way of how it's brewed and the timings and everything else. It's just like really, really lovely and enjoyable. And I know that these beers are just going to get like better and better and better because we only just can this.
The coconut, and I usually find that coconut doesn't come through as well in a lot of beers.
Yeah.
The coconut in this is so pronounced, but it's not overpowering. Like it's like, hey, I'm here, but it's not like shoving everything else out of the way to be like, it's only me. Like normally people might overcompensate and it will be too strong or too synthetic.
Yeah.
This is very natural coconut and it's very noticeable, because the opposite is like you don't notice it at all. And I find like the chocolate's definitely there, the roastiness of the coffee is definitely there, the coconut's definitely there.
It is delicious.
Definitely getting the vanilla. I can see where the honeycomb element is coming from as well.
Like the honeycomb on its own, sorry to interrupt you, but the honeycomb on its own, when Oliver basically gave me it and he said, try this, and I basically ate the honeycomb on my own, and it had like the tinder, you know, like it wasn't like sweet, like you get in a crunchy,
like cinder toffee.
Cinder toffee, kind of like when you drink it, I think the joy in this, well, for me, what I'm getting is like everything comes out of it. You taste it, and then kind of like you taste something else, and you taste something else, and you taste something else. It's just really layered, and I love it. And the coffee in this, the Brazilian coffee, like shout out to Edgecombs in, just outside of Arundel. Exceptional roasters, really exceptional roasters. And basically what I did was I wanted an affogato, right? Just because I love them. So one day I got like some vanilla ice cream. I got a crunchy. Like, it's not as sophisticated as like cocoa nibs and what have you, but I got a crunchy, and then in the cupboard we had like some coconut shavings, and I shoved that in some desiccated coconut, and then I was just kind of like, and I got some of my coffee from my filter, and I just kind of poured it in, and I just mashed it up, and then I ate it. I was like, Oliver, have this, and he hates, like, he doesn't drink coffee.
Yeah.
But he loves it in beer. And I kind of shoved it in his face, and I was like, this is what I want you to make me. I want this beer. So when we were talking about a collaboration with Three Hills, I went, can you do my affogato, please? Like the one that I stuck a crunchy in, because I just want it. Yeah. And it's made me happy because it's everything I want. And as you kind of like pointed out, it's just really easy drinking, and it's really bad because it's like 11.5, and I've no doubt.
I know.
Just drink this and then just get up and fall on your bum.
Yeah, this is like, it is too easy. Like I said, it's like the one day where it was so easy drinking. I was like, we'll just have a bit more. Okay, let's just have a bit more. Then we're like,
drink the whole thing. Entire litre of stout gone.
It's that thing of like the flavors blend together so well, but like as you said, where you're like each time you sip you kind of taste something different. Like for me, it's like it all blends together so well. But when I'm reading the ingredients and I take a sip, I can pick out individually. It's not even that I take a sip and go, oh, there's something I haven't tasted. It's like it's merged together great. And then I go coconut, and then I take a sip and go, yep, can immediately find the coconut. And then you take another sip and you go, yep, can immediately find the roasty coffee in there. And it is just so, and the chocolate is like, it's not like bitter cacao chocolate. Yeah, and a lot of times when there's chocolate written on something, it's like bitter cacao nib.
Yeah,
it's not just like a smooth, like velvetized hot chocolate sort of thing. And like that hot chocolate is like what I get in this, and it is.
Do you reckon we can put this?
Oh my god, this is a whole new idea that I didn't even think of when I said it. Yes.
Yeah, but does heat things up though?
Yeah, it does.
Oh,
yeah.
It can be mold though.
Oh, like a hot toddy mold. Have we just created something new?
I think we did.
I have to go to a beer festival with a and just like pour.
People go with pokers. They go all kinds of things. Like you can bring a
pen. I need a pen.
Write it down quick.
If only we had this recorded.
Write it down. Cut this bit out. I don't want to give anyone any. I don't want to see everyone's slushy machines at festivals.
It's patented.
Yeah, it is patented.
Stouts.
I'm just saying, like, honestly, it does taste like just beauty. It's beauty. It's beauty.
Can you imagine how long it'll take?
Oh my god. It's gonna
what you should do is you should put a beep over that. Leave it in.
Yeah.
And just put a big beep
I'll just put
over
every time.
Every time she says those two words together, beep it out. And I think a beep would be hilarious.
I'm going to find the right link sound now. You lot like to set me challenges.
But honestly, this beer, back to you, because it's your birthday.
Yeah.
And it's your beer that we're drinking. And it is genuinely amazing.
Thank you.
Emma, as we've been talking and we've been drinking these amazing beers, and we've been talking about your growth over the last 2 years, what other advice? You've given some advice already. What other advice would you give to other baby breweries, as you called them earlier, which I loved, and I want to call them that now?
Yeah, so just thinking about it in terms of the things are with regards to finance, right? So trying to get money for growth in an industry such as brewing, which is outside of kind of like the government's strategy, right? So the government kind of recently did, Rishi Sunak recently kind of like talked at the CBI conference, which is like Small Businesses Conference, which is a very important business conference in the UK earlier on this year, and basically talked about the country, what he kind of like envisions as a strategy for the UK. And the strategy for the UK in terms of business is basically focusing on like innovation and growth. And that innovation and growth he sees will come from areas like banking, technology, healthcare, but healthcare like in a kind of like digital sense, I think, more than anything, and infrastructure. So and energy, I think. So like 5 different areas the government are like looking at. Obviously, outside of that area are things like hospitality. So, for example, all of these individuals who work within tech and banking, like, don't they need somewhere to unwind and maybe like eat when they're doing all this hard work? Seems like they don't, but like a lot of the bank's criteria for lending out their commercial banking or what have you, their criteria is more driven towards those areas of business that I kind of spoke about, not brewing. So if you need money to grow your business in brewing, then the only way that you can obviously look to do that is if you do crowdfunding, which people have done and which we're doing for our tap room, but also like, potentially individually getting like another job. And I've just kind of obviously spoken about maybe if it kind of like does come to it, me finding alternative employment to further funnel and grow our business, just because we can't find anyone who will actually lend to or would like to lend to our business, and we can't get any grants or whatever. So it's just like, yeah, baby breweries out there who are thinking about it or whatever, then just think about like your options, and you might have to like do some crowdfunding, or alternatively go back to work and work part-time to be able to fund your growth. But these are the things that you need to look at when you're growing in terms of accessing finance, and it's really not that easy.
It's so hard, isn't it? Like it just feels really shit, the fact that it's like, I don't know, it feels frustrating hearing that, like, as a person that is not working within beer in that sense, like in the sense of like beer is not paying me whatsoever, and just hearing the story of like, that to me is just so incredibly frustrating as a consumer, especially because I think like from a consumer perspective, there's so many breweries, and like you try to support as many as you can, you try to spread the love out, but like even so, like with the cost of living crisis, like you can only spread it out so far, so every so often, and you feel so guilty when you're like, okay, cool, so I've bought this and this month, and then next month I'll buy this and this, and it can just be so like hard, and it just feels shit because you kind of want the breweries that you love to be supported, but you might love so many different breweries that it's so hard to put your money into all of them in one go. And it's just like, you just kind of wish that there was just a little bit more support there. I don't know, I just find it like so frustrating, and just, I mean, I know that I'm not the only one that feels that way, like a lot of people find it frustrating and upsetting and everything else. It's just, I find it's just like, you almost kind of feel like you don't know what to do at some point, don't you?
I suppose like it's interesting from my perspective to hear that your customer point of view and what, like, how, you know, like you feel conflicted and want to support. But I think that, you know, businesses like, and breweries like me and other people who kind of like know you and know our customers, it's not kind of like traditional in a way where you're like, wow, they're coming back like every week or every month or whatever, just because the way that the business model is, and also like everything that's going on at the moment, even people with high disposable income in industries kind of, they can't afford to pay for all the breweries that they like, because it's really weird because there's so many amazing breweries, which is awesome, and people want to support them, but it's only kind of like a finite amount of resources to go around. So you can't support everyone all the time, and it's just, again, it's really interesting, and this is why I was talking about how you look at your business and where your revenue comes from and where your distribution is, and looking at like different areas to support your business, because, you know, pubs 100% used to be, doesn't exist anymore. Like you've mentioned, even if there wasn't a cost of living crisis, I think with the amount of awesome breweries coming up, you want to buy all the beer, but it's not possible to buy all the beer, because it's like a lot of beer, and it's a lot of commitment all the time. So it's just trying to find like an interesting balance that makes your business work and is financially viable. But yeah, like making sure that you've got that balance. It is really interesting, and I could probably talk about this all evening, and I'd be interested to hear like other breweries as well and how they're doing it and what works best for them. But I think like everyone's got a different mix of what works for them, and but you can't rely on anything. This is one thing with brewing and the brewing industry, and how like you sell. I never kind of like say that I can rely on every single one of my customers, doesn't matter whether it's a pub, a bar, a tap room, shop, consumer, whatever. I can't rely on them to spend their money like every single time with you, because it's just like it doesn't happen. So there's that element of like not being able to have that like stability, which I suppose traditional businesses,
when you're, I think the
bigger
like, you are, the bigger you are, the more you can afford to pay for a line into a pub or a bar or whatever and have your stuff constantly on. But that's like, when we say like the bigger you are, it's not even like when we think in a craft beer community sense of like who's big and who's not. It's like, think of that and then think bigger. Like it's the like the Carlings and like macro level, like big beer is who can afford to go, well, I know I'm guaranteed a line in this one, this one, this one, and this one. Like not everybody can guarantee a line into a pub or a bar or someplace like that. And like you said, a bottle shop may absolutely love you, and they may absolutely love like numerous breweries, but the problem is like for them as well, that's a risk if they could buy all these different things, and if it's not going off the shelf as quick as, you know, from their consumers, you know, it's not going off the shelf as quick as they want, not because of who the brewery is by any means, but because, you know, cost of living and everything else like that, people can't afford to buy like they could. It's difficult because then, you know, that's like another percentage of people that maybe regularly bought that could regularly buy and give you a good chunk of money. So it's you know, it's a hard market at the moment, and it's that thing of like crowdfunding. I think, as you said, like when you can, if you can crowdfund, like that is such a, like that's a good resource, and that's a way for people like me who want to see the people that I enjoy like succeed. Like that's something that I can do, is I can be like, cool, I've got some spare money, I'll put it into a crowdfunder. And I think that's stuff that people like me as a consumer can do.
And that's really supported us, and it helped us. And I think me and Oliver wanted to go the way with our tap room and launch a crowdfunder, not necessarily because like of the money, because you obviously know like the money and what we've given away as rewards, we in some way or another we have to pay for those rewards, because everything kind of like has a cost attached to it. So it's not free money to us. It's not a case of we'll get the money that we put out there. Realistically, we'll probably get like a percentage of the money that we're raising. The reason why we're doing it is because we want to be able to give that opportunity for our community to be able to support us, because a lot of people have gone, we want to support you, and that's great. But also, like, it works as like a really good marketing tool to support the launch of our tap room as well, because it gets people invested in it, and they feel like they're part of it. And you know, that's kind of like not me giving any secrets away or marketing wisdom. It just generally makes like common sense. And yeah, so the whole thing is marketing. It's not going to support our business. It's not going to make our business financially stable. What it's done is it's provided us with an opportunity to create some noise around like the next phase of our business that we're going to launch, which is great because already we've got awareness and like potentially footfall from that crowdfunder. So it's like, it's pretty good. It's when you get to the kind of like the bigger crowdfunders, like I'm not going to mention Fierce because Fierce was like really different, even though they had rewards. It wasn't an equity stake, it was rewards, but theirs was like a lot of money, like 100 and something thousand. Shout out to Louise from Fierce, who I absolutely adore, who is a wonderful human being. She's really helped me with this crowdfunder and other things with brewing. She's absolutely amazing. But like, yeah, and then like it's kind of like more of the double barrel side of it, where they've just raised equity and understanding kind of like how that's worked. And I think Attic aren't doing equity, are they? They're doing more of the kind of like rewards based crowdfunding. So yeah, it's interesting to look at like those two methods and how breweries are tapping into their communities to help support them even more, kind of like financially with like the larger equity stake. I think that's kind of like, it's really interesting to look into.
Because sometimes you just go, I have so much beer, and it's like, I don't need.
There's never enough beer. Never enough.
I would say that. My husband maybe would like disagree.
Yeah, Gordon's like, have you got more beer coming?
I have.
Like,
Joe and I always feel like we have the right amount of beer.
Yes.
Our husbands don't always agree with that.
Disagree with this.
Yeah. And that's just like that's a we don't see eye to eye.
Although I will say,
agree to disagree situation.
I will say, Gordon opened the package of beer today, and he was like, "There's no lager in there for me."
Well, tell him he can use.
Was he like, "What is this?"
That's what I said, and I was just like, "Oh no!" And he was like, "It's fine. Like, I don't need them to send me lager. I've had enough free beer from them." Like.
Shout out to Joanne's husband.
I was gonna say he is the MVP,
who
he managed to get me
donate to our crowdfunder. Joanne's obviously going to use the credits.
Yeah, it's gonna be me.
I will say, Gordon is an absolute hero as well, because like he literally.
Gordon and Ron. Why don't Gordon and Ron have their own podcast?
Yeah.
The Gordon and Ron show.
Oh my god.
What it is to do.
I'm waiting for people to be like, who the fuck is Ron?
He has threatened to come on and do like a beer widow.
Genuinely.
The beer widows.
Rick would do it. I already asked Rick if he'd be willing. I already asked Ron if he'd be willing to do that, and he was like, yeah, I'd be on it. And I was like, I didn't think you'd want to be on a podcast. And he was like, yeah, I would. I'd be on it. And
Gordon talks a big game. And then if we actually put him in front of the camera, he'd be like, no.
Yeah, the difference is Rick would.
Yeah.
And he'd play the camera. he actually would. But to be fair, Gordon is absolute hero. Like they were at a pub, and they were like, Joe messaged me going, they've got they know how much I loved like hopped sauce in general. R.I.P. Like that, Sammy. Like
Sammy.
I was literally devastated. I was like, this is flipper table worthy. So sad. And then they specifically knew how much I loved the Merakai hop sauce.
Well, it was because
so many bottles.
Trying to get the recipe. We're trying to get the recipe.
That's what Gordon said to me the other day. He was like, hasn't Emma got the recipe?
Trying to get the recipe.
Any opportunity, I would have it. And then Gordon left and he bought me like 3 bottles, because Joe was like, do you want any? And I was like, I was like, if I'm prioritizing, the one I care about is the Merakai. Like, I don't know how much it is, just get me the bottles of the Merakai collab.
No, she's like, oh my god, how much are they? And I was just like, just tell me what you want, because this might be your last chance to buy them. Just tell me what you want and I will buy it for you. I don't care.
the other day I messaged her going, I'm on my last bottle of Merakai hop sauce.
And then I was
like, I'm so sad. And then she's like, look what I found.
I was at Brewery Market. I was in Brewery Market in Twickenham, and they had a shelf of the hopped sauces, and I was like, oh my God. And I hadn't even seen, like, the strawberry one was turned to the side, and like I kind of recognized the label at a glance, but wasn't sure if it was the right one. So I was like, and I'd noticed as I was walking away, and I didn't have my phone. My phone was on the side, not with me. And I was like, oh, I need to take a picture of those bottles and ask Tori which ones she wants, because this might be our last chance to get them. And then they brought one out because we were doing a beer and food pairing. And they were like, oh, we've got a strawberry hot sauce. And I was like, oh my God, it's the one. I was like,
so good with chips.
The one.
It was amazing.
Mayonnaise. You mix it with mayonnaise.
Gordon was going up for another beer, and I was like, she's not got back to me about she wants. I was like, just please go and buy 2 bottles of this strawberry one right now, just before anybody else buys it, because they were like, oh, we've got this strawberry one. We've got it on sale, and I was like, no one else is buying it.
Going, sorry, I'm jumping in the shower. Which ones do they have? And I'll message when I'm out of the shower. And then I literally came back, and I was like, oh, they have the Merakai. I was like, and
Gordon was like, there was 3, so I bought all 3.
He's the
honestly, like so good. Yeah, mix it with
all
mayonnaise.
The festive bakewells. All the festive bakewells go to him.
He only did it because he wants Easter eggs.
I fucking gave him festive bakewells. What else can I give this?
I mean, he'll take festive bakewells, but he particularly wants Easter eggs.
Literally, okay. Rick and I, or Ron, however we want to call it, Ron and I.
Oh, it's be Ron.
Ron and I opened the last bottle of the Merakai hot sauce, and we were like, "It's the last bottle."
I got you 3 more here, girl. I got you.
I was like,
off Sam, and he's like, "They're all gone." I'm like, "What do you mean they're all gone?"
The second I saw his email, I was like, well, I need to go buy all the hot sauce now. And I went on, and I was like, they're gone.
I got you 3. You got to make them last.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to let him. I did say I was like,
we'll get the recipe. I'm trying to get the recipe.
It was amazing.
I said we'll pay you for the recipe. Just give me the recipe.
I will throw down for that recipe. I will put money into to whatever it takes to get that recipe. Well, honestly, I will just say on the record, like all of his hot sauces. As a hot sauce fan,
one was really good.
They're all amazing. All amazing. The Howlin' Hops one was great. Sorry, Joe. The Yakima Chiefs one was great.
So rude.
But
cut that
genuinely,
out. Yeah,
that needs to be gone.
Yeah, I was like, I just need to say that. I still have a bottle of that. I'm sorry. It's really good. However, my favorite one, 100%. I mean,
the one I was like
100%.
Again, polarizing. People were like, it's weird.
I bought a bottle for Joe because she's not a hot sauce person. I was like, just try this one because it's not particularly hot. And then she was like, yeah, we didn't get on with it. And then she's like, you can have it back. And I was like, yes.
I expected you to bring me like a little pot of it, and you brought me a whole bottle. And I was like, don't give me a whole bottle. I'm not going to appreciate it the way you do.
No. And then she was like, I tried it. It wasn't for me. Like, I'm giving it back to you. And I was like, I'm happy for the return on investment. Like, good. Like, I was like, part of me sad that you didn't like it. Part of me is very happy you didn't like it because it's back with like, it's coming home. Mama is coming home. Like,
you know what? I've even got still in my cup in the fridge, the test one that I did.
Oh yeah.
Fucking amazing.
The test one. And I was just like,
and I couldn't.
He
is incredibly lovely as well. Just incredibly lovely. So like, honestly, thoughts and prayers to all that. I hope he's like a phoenix, and he rises from the ashes.
Phoenix? Did you say I hope he's like
Phoenix?
Phoenix.
I hope he's like a phoenix and he rises from the ashes and he's like, here's more hot sauce, because he is so talented.
Yeah.
And so many. I don't think I had a bad hot sauce from, like, I've had hot sauce where you get hot sauce and it's like too vinegary. None of his were like that. They were so full of flavor and just so even if hot sauce isn't your thing, they were just beautiful. But the one he did with you guys was like chef's kiss. Loved it. So good.
Yeah, we'll try and get the recipe.
Anyways, so your 2, we're on our way to the tasting room.
Yes.
What do you want for year 3?
Year 3.
By year 3, what do you want to
be? I think what I really want, and I friggin' like hope this comes to fruition.
We're manifesting it.
We need it. So we need like a canning line, because it's just canning days just make me so sad. We need a van. So we want I think, so I'm going to steal this from Pip of the Coven. She calls her van the fantasy, which I absolutely love. So we need a giant fantasy that we deliver and take to festivals. And yeah, kind of definitely export more is the way to go. So when we launched Merakai, we launched it with the view that we would be a global brewery and sell our beer everywhere for everybody, not just kind of local within Sussex. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It's just not our strategy for who we are and what we want to be. So yeah, maybe kind of collaborations with more kind of breweries abroad as well. We've got some amazing collaborations coming up. In January, you can keep this in, I'll leave it out. We're going to be brewing with Vault City. We've got Wonder Beyond in March, which will be cool. I'm trying to pin Neon Raptor down to do a collaboration with us. Nice. Speaking to Elusive, trying to be friends with Andy.
Yeah, Andy's the nicest. We'll put a good word in when we're there in January.
And then a return visit up to Tartarus, obviously, to kind of do
I need to see their tap room.
Our friggin' Brave Noise, which has got to happen in March. I've got to send some dates around. Sorry, I couldn't kind of make it this year, but we'll still be doing the beer that we talked about.
Is this allowed to stay in?
Yeah, can we keep this
in? Yeah, that's fine. But I just think we should go ahead and do Brave Noise. I don't care when
every year.
Yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah. I think we're allowed to do them whenever we want.
I think I think, to be fair, after speaking
Brave Noise every year.
No, but after speaking to Ash and Ren, I genuinely felt like that really is the concept of Brave Noise, was to be live the ethos. It doesn't, whether or not you put a break, they give it a stamp of approval and put it on, the fact that you're still going, I care enough to donate to a charity, to go through the steps.
It's if we all agree, then it can just kind of go and support Pips.
Yeah,
and
of course.
People safe.
But it's that thing of as long as you're doing all the steps that they care about. What I got from the conversation we had is that is the ideal for people to be I don't need to be dictated by a program to do the right thing. And so I'm so I know that you mentioned it before, and I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited we can leave this in as well,
because I think it's a firm commitment from us to continuously support and shout about, because it just still hasn't had the impact, I think, and we've got to try and kind of make shit like that happen. And then maybe speak to some other breweries potentially about collaborations, maybe try and kind of do something with someone overseas. I think would be quite good. There's lots of different opportunities, but I think the main focus for us would be to get our the tasting room up and running, because that needs to be a success for us. It needs to be a way where we can really kind of foster and create that community and safe space for people. It just has to be that has to be the main focus. So yeah, lots of things we want to do. We want to grow ultimately, but tasting room.
I hope when the tasting room's up, you have a super launch party, and we can go and we can we can have drag brunch. I want to have the drag brunch that we talked about, and all the amazing things. If not drag brunch, we play drag shows.
It's so small. You come in there, you can imagine. I feel sorry for a drag queen who has to come into the space because it's so small, trying to do death drops and dips.
Which makes it more impressive. But we can do a drag show on a TV or a laptop. We can go, it's drag brunch, and that would be amazing. And I just want you to open up a space of your own so that we can come, we can toast you, and we can just be yes, you did it.
Thank you. That's ultimately like what we want to do. And I yeah, I appreciate you both so much, and the support that you've given us is like absolutely.
We absolutely love you, and
awesome.
So
like, yeah, really appreciate it, because it makes kind of like what I do and what we do worthwhile. It's like, I feel like we're all trying to make the brewing industry a better, more kind of like inclusive, welcoming place to people. And, more people like us is just...
I cannot believe, like, when we think about the fact that you're 2 years old, like, it feels like yesterday that I feel like Joe and I were like newly starting out doing like interviews. Like, we hadn't always done interviews, and I think it took us a while to get to start doing interviews. And then I think we did like, I don't know, 1 or 2, and then I remember like seeing your Instagram and then being like, oh my god, they align with everything that we love. And I remember like reaching out to you, and I can't even remember the specifics. I just remember seeing you featured somewhere on Instagram and being like, oh my god, they are everything that aligns with me and Joe, and I need to send them a message. And then I think you responded, and I was just like, if you ever want to come on a podcast and we don't, we're okay. I don't know, you might not want to. It's okay if you don't want to.
No, we can't get rid of you.
You were one of, and I don't want to get rid of you.
We don't want to get rid of you.
I mean, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I'm here all the time. Whatever.
It's the conversation is so organic because we are all so aligned on things. And I just remember, like, it feels like yesterday, and I cannot believe that it's like, oh, it's your 2nd birthday.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was just yesterday when I was going, Joe, oh my god, I've messaged them and maybe they won't message me back, and I don't know, and maybe they won't want to talk to us. And then here we are. Happy birthday to you and Ollie.
Happy birthday to
Thank you so much. I was just gonna like,
and we bonded over like drag queens and everything.
2 years. Yeah, it's kind of like, I keep saying it's the end of November, but it pretty much is like, it's like mid-December, pretty much when I launched the website and when the beer came out as well. So yeah, like launching like the way that we did in a kind of like Zoom thing with, like, I think it's a triple hopped podcast that we did when we were like baby newbies, and just going, this is our first beer, we hope you like it. And then having all these people just like, there were like loads on there, just like 30 plus people, like all there drinking our beer. No, in fact, it was more than that, because I know I sent out a fuck ton.
Is that like the exact measurements? You were like,
exactly like a fuck ton.
Exact of beer.
Like, it was so many, and like having like all these people you never met before drink like your first beer and actually tell you to your face what they thought about it.
Oh my god, that's so intimidating. I'd probably be like, I'm sick today. I can't come in.
Yeah, but it was like really good, because I think for the once and only time, I think we kind of like they had like different beers, and like Cloudwater obviously scored like #1, and they had like their rep there from Cloudwater. It was like #1, and then #2 was Burning Sky, and I think they had Beak and then us, and I think we scored like higher than Beak. Maybe it might have just been because we were there. That's like the first and only time that will ever happen, because obviously, like, Beak are stratospheric. But yeah, we were kind of like, we were really just quite chuffed to be in a lineup next to Cloudwater, for example, and Burning Sky, and just thought, yeah, this is great. And yeah, here we are now, like Christmas, with 2 imperial stouts and a new
amazing imperial stouts. Having you on's always fun, and the problem is we always lose track of time, because it's like a really good chat, and that's the problem. And if we lived closer, it would probably be lethal, because I'd probably be around yours like all the time.
Like, yeah, I honestly,
if it wasn't a drive, it was like I mean, and you're not that far away, but the thing is, like, drinking and driving, no. So the thing is like, if you were closer, commutable wise, it would be lethal. So it's probably good.
That's true.
You're further away. No, these birthday beers are amazing, and
so good.
Genuinely, I am so happy to like see from the first time that we had a conversation. I'm so happy that you agreed.
Those who are watching.
Got our babies.
It's the babies. This is the one I'm going to get a tattoo of because I've been looking at the Instagram and they do fox photos and that's cute. I'm so pleased that like you responded the first time I messaged, because I was like, oh my God, she might not message. This is intimidating. And I'm so happy that you did, because I'm so happy of like the friendship that we have now and the girl group that we have. And it's literally met the girl group and Ollie that we have. And it is amazing. I literally I don't have it in this room. It's in the other room. I just printed out our photo from the day that we brewed Brave Noise. And I've got the photo of all of us, and then it's like us and Ollie standing in the background like this, and it's me and you, Emma, in the front like this on our knees, and everyone else in the background holding this. And I just printed that out, and one of me, Joe, Emma and Kimberly that we took on the day as a selfie, and I just printed those out because I want to frame them and I want to put them on the wall in this room with me. And like, it's just like, I'm so happy for the friendship that we've made, and you and Oliver have just been such amazing people throughout, and I can't thank you enough for, I don't know, just that friendship that you've given and what you've done for the beer community, and the fact that you've gone, I don't care if I'm targeting everybody and that's not the best marketing strategy.
Yeah,
like you've said before, like that's not a great marketing strategy, but that's what I'm doing. Like, I think that is so commendable and it's amazing, and I want to see more breweries take that ethos on. And you both have just been amazing, and I just want to say thank you. And I hope that we're celebrating like 3, 4, 5, however many more years. And I can't wait for the opening of your tasting room, and I can't wait for all of it. And I just want to see you guys grow, really. That's all I can say. So cheers.
What she said.
Thank
Cheers.
you very much. That's so kind
and
sweet of you to say it. Like, you know, I adore and love you absolutely, both of you. Yeah, thanks for your support. And I think that the more positivity and the kind of like people that we can grow and connect in our amazing kind of like craft beer community, like really, yeah, it's all up and up, and 2023 will be an amazing year, I feel, for all of us. So
hope so.
Cheers to us, because we are awesome.
Yes.
cheers.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Well, if there was ever an episode to have like a unreleased tangent episode, like this is the one. But
there might have to be an editor's cut of this one. Sorry, this is probably quite long.
It's hard not to be those. It's like it's just when you're chatting with a mate, like, because that's what it's just chatting with mates, isn't it? And then you tend to go off topic, and then or you end up really passionately talking about something else. And I'm personally very happy. I just want to say that I'm so pleased that they obviously Emma and Ollie making his if it's made it in there, we'll see, making his like random appearances normally. But yeah, I'm so pleased that they wanted to come on and talk to us specifically about their birthday beers. Couldn't love a brewery more, like, for what they do in the industry and how they do it, and they are just really nice people overall. So we have lots of love for them. We want to see them. We want their crowdfunder to like surpass the goal if it can.
If you haven't put money into that crowdfunder, please go do it already.
They're so close.
If you have, and you got a little bit of extra money, we know things are tight right now, but if you've got a little bit more, let's try and squeak them over the line. They've only got 13% to go.
Yeah. Is that what they're at now? Yeah. That is where they're at.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not good at math, so I was like, is that? Oh, yeah. No, honestly, I can't wait for this space for them. Like, they're gonna have it. I know they are, and it's gonna be amazing, and it's gonna be such an inclusive, welcoming environment.
In the armpit of pizza.
In the armpit of
Pizza Express. In the armpit of Pizza Express.
That that visual is gonna stick with me, and I really hope they put that on their marketing. But yeah, amazing. Happy birthday to both of you.
Happy birthday.
We love you so much, and I mean, as always, like, we look forward to having you on,
like, third birthday. Yeah, third birthday, we'll have to just do it at the
tasting room. Yeah, for sure. And obviously, like, I go like, oh, open invitation to come back. Like, I don't even need to say that.
We don't need to
say that. She's coming back.
Emma's
like,
just gonna appear. If we're not careful, she's just going to become a third host.
Someone's getting close to.
I can't remember who it was.
I don't remember who it was either, but someone's getting quite close.
Maz. It was Maz.
Yes, it was Maz. Maz is getting quite close to, like, being on. And now Emma's going to be like, that's it. I'm coming on again. It's happening. That's what needs to happen if we're ever in a pinch with recording because one of us can't be available. Yeah. We'll just call in Emma, and that was it. We'll have a backup because she's basically a third host anyway. So, and we love her, and it's great. So,
yes, Phelan.
That's Phelan saying happy birthday to Emma and Oliver. So,
Tori, if people want to ask you what your favorite Merakai beer is of all time, if they haven't worked it out.
They didn't actually listen to the episode and they're only listening to this end piece. They can talk to me about Merakai beers all day, every day, like so many goodies there. So yeah, if they want to talk to me, they can find me on Instagram at adventures_in_optimism. They can email me at adventuresinoptimism@gmail.com. If they kind of want to talk to us both about it, they can reach us both. Whoever answers first, it's a lucky dip. You can find us on Instagram at A Woman's Brew or on Gmail at A Woman's Brew Podcast @gmail.com. Joe, if people want to talk to you about that sweet crowdfunding that's happening for the tasting room, where can they talk to you?
I mean, I'm going to tell you to go give all your money to Merakai, so maybe don't talk to me. But if you'd like to talk to me, if you'd like
taking it all from
me to give you some advice on where you should give your money, it's to Merakai, in case you didn't know. You can find me at my beer school, which is Love Beer Learning, and we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest. I'm usually hanging out on Instagram or TikTok. I also have a website, which is lovebeerlearning.co.uk, and an email address where you can get hold of me, which is lovebeerlearning@gmail.com. So, on that note, happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
And cheers.
Cheers.